Welcome back to Hollow Ridge Outdoors, guys. I'm Justin Green, and today we're talking about the Out on a Limb ZRO360 camera arm. This could quite possibly be the best camera arm on the market. Alright guys, before we get into the Out on a Limb ZRO360, if you're a self-filmer or if you are a cameraman for a buddy like we do here at Hollow Ridge Outdoors, we do a little bit of both. You're probably used to seeing a muddy tree arm, something similar to this. These are tried and true, they work great. We've used this camera arm here for several years. Not bashing these by any means, but there are some disadvantages to these compared to the ZRO360. This, when you mount it to the tree, usually you want it mounted in the seating position, and this is where the camera is going to be. It's going to stay right here. When you stand up, the camera stays down low, vice versa. If you mount this up here in a seating or a standing position, when you sit down, the camera is going to be up above your head. They've done great. They got a lot of movement in them. They're very smooth. They're very durable. But that advantage or disadvantage, I should say, when you're in the seating or standing position, depending on where you mount this thing, that's where the camera is. And we've come to notice that it makes it very hard to see your screen on some of these video cameras that we're using in the hunting industry. So that's what we're typically using, but now I'm gonna show you guys the ZRO360. All right guys, now we're talking about the Out on a Limb ZRO360. As you guys can tell, this thing looks a lot different than what the camera arm we just showed you. This one actually goes up over your head, and you do mount this to the tree like typical ones. You've got a ratchet strap, but right here there is an aluminum ball. You adjust this, that gets your pivot arm nice and level, so wherever you move this arm, it doesn't fall or lean to one side or the other. But like I said, between the standing and seating position, that's where this camera arm really excels. So as you can tell right now, I'm seating. If a deer comes in from my left, I simply pivot the arm around. I can get my footage. No matter where that deer goes, I can get the camera arm on it, and I can literally let the camera go. If the deer starts walking again, if the deer comes up in under the tree, you just simply move the camera arm, and there it is. You've always got free mobility. You can move all the way around the tree this way. You can move all the way around the tree that way. Now where this thing really excels is in the standing position. So say I've got a big buck coming in and I know I need to get ready to make a shot on him. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that buck in my frame here on this camera. And as he's coming and I know I need to get up and get ready, I simply just take this camera arm, slide it up. I've still got him on camera. I can reach over, grab my bow, and I've got right here, guys, this deer comes out and he's gonna make a pass into a shooting lane out in front of me. I can simply move that deer around, and then whenever it comes time to shoot, I don't have an arrow nock, but you draw back, and to say if the deer steps out of the frame, you can literally just take your hand here and you can move this thing around. If you need to go right, you need to go left. In mid-draw, always got the kill shot. All right, guys, so this is gonna be Hollow Ridge Outdoors' first season using this apparatus, the ZRO360 by Out on a Limb. So we don't have any infield experience, so be sure you guys subscribe to the channel, check out some of the hunts. We're going to Ohio again this year. We're gonna, of course, be doing a bunch of hunting here in Northeast Tennessee. We're gonna put this thing through the test. The setup on this, we've come to find out, is definitely different from what we've seen here on the previous arms. But I'm gonna show you guys some of the highlights on this thing, what you gotta know, what you don't have to have, what you have to buy on top of having one of these. So let's kind of come on in a little closer and we'll show you guys. Once again, we'll start here at the tree. You do get the base with it, and like I said, you have this aluminum machine ball that really lets you move this in any position you want to get this thing nice and level. Moving up, this is a two-piece. This just slides right up in and out of here, as you can see. So you can leave this on the tree if you want to and take this with you. You do have some adjustment here. This has a shock here. There's a little bit of adjustment here. You can hand tighten that, and then also you just take a screwdriver, as you can tell in this hole, and that kind of lets you adjust the up and down and the tension that you put on this thing. You want it to where wherever you let the camera go is where it stays. You don't want it to move on its own. If you want the camera to stay here, that's what the whole concept of this is. Moving on out, we have another arm here that breaks down. This is really going to give you your up and down, let you look down underneath the tree. If you got one up on a ridge above you, you can tighten this up as well. Once again, this is all going to affect the camera you're using, the conditions you're in. You may have to adjust this each time you move this setup. We recommend mounting this thing if you're going to be hunting 3 or 4 days in a row. Mount it up, leave it here. Everything's aluminum. It's not going to get weathered. It's not going to rust on you. When you do buy this from Out on a Limb, you get this, everything I've showed you. It does come with this cage down here, your hand frame. The only thing you're gonna have to get is a ball head or a fluid motion camera head here. You can get them on Amazon pretty cheap. You can spend a lot of money if you want to. We actually took this one off of a tripod that we have, so it kind of serves dual purpose. We can use it here and on the tripod. You can even use some of the ones, if you have an old muddy camera arm, you can use those on these as well. Once you get that mounted, that's what really gives you the range of motion here that you want. So you'll have to do a little tweaking there, of course, to get everything synced up. Then it comes down to mounting whatever your camera is. We actually offset ours over here on the right side so you can see the full screen here. We've got it mounted to the right, but it does have options where you can mount this thing in 3 or 4 separate places here. And it does come with a little T-handle here to mount everything. Other than that, guys, you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to get this thing out in the woods. We believe when it comes to self-hunting, it's hard enough anyways. We think this is really gonna help us in the field when we're out there hunting, when we're on a big hunt in Ohio and a big deer comes by. The last thing you really wanna worry about is your camera arm and not getting the shot. You want to be focused on harvesting that buck or harvesting that deer or whatever it is you may be hunting. This takes the guessing game out of it. It just makes everything so nice, so simple, so easy. You get it in the position you want, you got your bow. It's going to be a lot easier to keep the deer in frame. We're excited to use it this year, so once again, be sure you guys subscribe to the channel to see us using this camera arm and hopefully killing some good deer here in East Tennessee and in Ohio for our yearly hunt. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Like the video if you thought it was something you're interested in. And shout out to Out on a Limb. Go to their Instagram, check them out. Go to Holly Ridge Outdoors Instagram, check us out. And we'll see you guys in the next video.